Let's take a look behind the scenes of a project we recently finished that included a whole redesign of the entry to this house, plants, lighting, and a new feel for what the customer experiences every time they drive in and out. So basically, all along this driveway, we took the plants out and we cut down some trees and then reinstalled a kind of a new planting palette with the thought in mind for the narrow space and minimal pruning and maintenance throughout a season. We also tied that into this front area right in front of the house. There are yews, hellebore, ferns, rock rose. That's the yew. That's a rock rose. That is a heuchera. And you can kind of see how narrow the planting space is. I'm excited for you to see what we did with it. So all these rocks right here, we pulled out of the original planting design and are going to reinstall them kind of as a border along the edge. Another part of this project was a lighting investigation. So there's lights that go out to the street like these two, but there was also other landscape lighting in the project area that we removed because it was all corroded and just not working anymore. So we kind of traced where all the wires are, removed the ones that we didn't need, and then reconfigured the lights so that the two at the end still worked. I'm seeing this live for the first time too. So sorry if I pause for extended periods and just admire the work that our guys do. Putting some new soil in where we had voids left from the plants we took out. This was a new truck at the time, so we didn't have our logos on it yet, so shout out to Magnets, love Magnets. Science. Breaking Bad reference. I like Alvaro's art on the trash can. Beautiful close-ups of the flowers. I believe that is the rock rose. I think we installed 5 of them. You can see right here, I think there were 7 thundercloud plums that just created a mess in the driveway, and the customer didn't want them anymore, so we cut them down, cut X's in them to help water get into the trunk to decompose faster, and we also treated the trunk with pesticide to help eliminate regrowth. There might be some still, but we did what we can. Whenever we can, it's nice to reuse products on site to keep a nice look of the landscape. So it was nice that we had those rocks. That actually wasn't even included in my original plan. The guys saw that and liked that idea, so we decided to do that, and I think it turned out great. You will see. I love incorporating ferns into anything we do. It's a staple for the Northwest. Planting bed is mostly prepped. Starting to lay out plants with the new design. Every plant and every rock is hand placed with love. These are creeping thyme. They'll fill in over time. Pardon the pun. Just need to give them time. So the guys had an overall layout to go off of, but I let them know that, if something doesn't make sense when it's actually placed, don't plan exactly to design. Use your own creative and professional judgment to do so. And we have immense confidence in our crew to figure out what is going to be best. There's also Mexican orange in this design. That is one of my favorite plants. I have too many of them at my house. I have the Sundance variety at my house. They do better in full sun, and they're a little more yellow, but they still have the nice white flowers. So you can kind of see the design coming together. It's a cool rock. I like moss. But yeah, so we'll get into planting. One thing we do as we take the pots off of the root ball is kind of scratch up the root ball to promote the roots to grow outwards. Because pots get root bound over time, so what happens is the roots just end up growing around where they're already growing. But what we actually want is them to grow out and incorporate themselves into the landscape faster. So exactly what I was talking about. It's cool to see the process start to finish, because my interaction with this is I go meet with the client, kind of get an understanding of what the vision is, put together a proposal and a design, go over it with the crew, and then I check paperwork on a daily basis, but I'm not out there on site with them all day, so I don't get to see this part. We're experiencing this together. Thank you for coming on this journey. It's fun to see a plan come to life and move things from paper and maps to the real world. It's a rosemary. Add some nice fragrance. Tried to pick things mostly green, but add pops of color throughout. So like we have the yellow on the mop head right over there. Way over there. It's on the other side of Roberta. I'll get the weatherman thing down over time. Mop head is over there, but way further. The green screen doesn't allow me to do that. Installing cobble rocks like that takes longer than you would think to get them all placed nice and neat. It's not just dumping them in a line. It's placing them intentionally and letting the rocks speak to you. That sounds ridiculous, but the rocks do talk. You just gotta listen. They have more to say than you'd think, being inanimate objects without feeling. Our overall planting palette between the driveway bed and the entry is the same to give cohesion, and we wanted to give the same kind of low maintenance evergreen feel. That one is especially root bound. You can kind of see how it grows around the edges and kind of back into itself. Adding a little bit of fertilizer. One thing that I'm not sure if is shown yet, but this area did not have irrigation. So what we did was just kind of install a temporary-ish above ground drip line connected to a spigot. Just because we're planting in the summer, we want to make sure that the plants are getting enough water and that the customer doesn't have to remember to go out and water every day to give the plants the best chance to survive. And then one of the final steps of our process is watering things in. Anything that is over a 5 gallon, we actually stick the hose in the ground all the way around the root ball to collapse any air pockets. That's the fastest way for new plants to die, is if there's an air pocket on a root ball, the plant just won't succeed and it will be unhappy. So the planting portion has come together. Normally we kind of do the lighting and planting in tandem. For this specific one, we didn't have all the materials ready, and due to the narrow area, we decided to do the plants first so that we wouldn't break any of the new wires while installing. But yeah, the planting portion really came together. It's a big difference from what it was originally. We didn't get a lot of pre-footage because we just didn't have the time available to do so, but we have the post and it's beautiful. Sometimes you just need to stop and smell the flowers, so to speak. So it's not a large planting area, but it makes a big impact because this is what everyone sees when they drive in and out of this property. It's the focal point, and it makes a difference. So you can see the lights are installed now. Our intention was to give some lighting on plants, but also on the fence behind the plants. And what we installed are FX Luminaire Luxor controller, which has the capability of changing the lights to all different kinds of colors. Thank you for watching along. It was a pleasure to experience this live with you. If you're interested in seeing more behind the scenes content of projects, deep dives, leave comments what you'd like to see, and follow and like and subscribe for more content like this.